Okay, let's see. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Camera is slightly off center. Let's center that guy up like he should be. And we'll go to the input. And, oops, wrong way. And there we go, right on the nose, literally. Yeah, good. Shirt tails down. There we go. So it's nice and straight across the front. There we go. Looks like we are, oh, we got a little fuzz right there. Let's see if we can't fix that. Color key. Color key, color key, color key. Is that better? No, worse. That's still a little kind of fuzzy there. Let's see. Did that help? Nope. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. Well, it's been 2 weeks since we've done a show. We were on vacation the week before last and then came back, and I was here in the studio, but then I went on vacation again. And that's when I put up the storm video. It wasn't really, it wasn't really a storm. It was just, actually it was a storm, but it wasn't a storm where I was. It was a storm somewhere else. So apologies for that. It was a misdirection. It was a sleight of hand, shall we say. So we are back today. Can't wait to show you what's going on here in the workshop portion of the studio. We've got 1, 2, 3 projects going on and some other pre-projects. Yes, indeed. Hello, Steve. Welcome. Thank you. God bless you too. I feel his blessings every day. This has been a good week. Monday was a good day. Tuesday was a good day. Wednesday, today, is a good day. And I got to take my wife out for dinner last night. Wasn't real fancy, but it was fast food, and we sat in the car and ate together and talked. What a radical concept. Yep. So today we're broadcasting in 4K 60, and it was interesting because prior to the pre-show here, do I have? Oh, that's my microphone right there, isn't it? Oh, you can't see it. It's out of that picture, but it's not out of this picture. Sorry. There we go. Prior to the show today, I was watching the pre-show. Hello, Bill. The Mississippi coast, the MS coast, the Microsoft coast. Not really. Glad you're here. I was listening to the PTZ Optics pre-show, and the pre-show, they were so relaxed, and they were hitting all their talking points on their new camera. The Studio Pro, which is essentially a box camera. It's got zoom, but no pan or tilt. And it's intended for the, for the YouTube chat market, I guess. And I'm gonna have to get one, of course, and test it out. But they were hitting all their talking points. It was Paul and Lindsay and Tess, and they're a cute trio, and they work well together with Michael running the show. And then they switched to the show. They'd done the pre-show. They switched to the show, and it was not nearly as well done. There's something to be said for the spontaneity of the first take, and that's why when I have guests here, and we need to get some guests on the schedule. When I have guests here, we're not here, but you know what I mean, here online here. When I have those guests on the schedule, I make a point of not talking about whatever our subject is going to be, because I made that mistake early on. We would talk about it and they would use all their good stuff right there in the pre-show or the pre-show. And then when it came time for the show, they would forget all the good talking points that they mentioned before. So no, Steve, no colds here. The sneeze was just to basically see if anyone was watching. It was watching. Bill says it's time for his next bird dog. What happened to your old bird dog? Did you wear him out, or did you want more than one? Yeah, bird dog is interesting. They have got coming up, probably the end of next month, although they announced it for June, a wireless PTZ camera that does NDI HX3, which I think is pretty cool. So it'll be a lightweight enough data stream that it can run over Wi-Fi, but it will have NDI and it will have all the bird dog goodies. It'll be a 20X. And I was talking to a bird dog guy last week, one of the bird dog reps, and he said that he has tested it up to 100 feet on Wi-Fi. So, I'm thinking we'll test it here, but 50 might be the kind of thing where you say that's a good, reliable signal that you can get all the time. So Bill says, let's see. Well, we could put his comments up here. We have the technology to do that. So we're going to go shop prep is for bullet points only. There you go. And Bill is going to add to his flock pack. All right. That's, what do you call a bunch of bird dogs? A flock pack. There you go. And what noise do they make? Don't know. We will have to see. Steve, I appreciate the sentiment. But my health is excellent. My health is excellent. Is there anything wrong with my health? No, I don't think so. I'm doing good. I'm not complaining. Nobody listens, but nevertheless, I'm not complaining. I'm having fun. Excuse me. Just finished my lunch. Sandy got me some smoked tuna dip and crackers for a quick light lunch. That was really, really good. And I'm just about done with my lemonade. How about this? This was the Christmas cup here in our little town of Fairhope. And I pulled it out today. Yeah, let's see. How are we doing on time? 6 minutes, 45 seconds. All right, there we go. There we go. So Bird Dog's got the X120 coming out, the 20X wireless camera. PTZ Optics has the Move SE line. Basically, it's their original line of cameras, kind of polished off, tweaked a little bit, price lowered significantly, probably $500-$600, depending on whether you wanted the 12X, 20X, or 30X. I think it's going to be a good value. It's going to be a good value cam. It's not wireless, but it is PoE and it is NDI HX. I need to check and see if it's got the same sensor and the same lens. It had a Tamron lens, I think, before with a Panasonic sensor. Whereas the Bird Dog is, Sony stuff. I don't know about their lens. I need to inquire about that one of these days. But we'll see. Yep. So cameras is kind of both of those are supposed to be out this summer. Both of those are supposed to be shipping this summer. So we'll see. It'll be fun. I've got them on order, so we'll get them in here, and see. It's it's dangerous for somebody like me that's in the business, and I get these cameras here and I test them and I like them. I want to keep them. Like, I'm getting a camera collection, although I'm trying not to. What I am doing is using camera for a little while, and then selling it to someone as a pre-owned camera, lightly used, because I know it was lightly used because I used it myself. So if you're interested in a camera at some point, don't hesitate to inquire and say, Tom, have you got anything you're using that's time to cycle it out and and sell. It won't come with the full manufacturer's warranty because I've used up part of it. At least, well, I don't know. We'll have to see about that. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. Because otherwise, I've got some that have been sitting on the shelf for 6 months. They might, the manufacturer's warranty, I think, kicks in when they're initially invoiced to the ultimate user. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Let's see. How are we on time? 4 minutes. There we go. Hello, Kyle. Welcome. Glad to have you. Let's get Kyle's comment up there. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. How's everything going out there? We built several systems for Kyle at the school. A monster system and then a couple other systems, I think, as I recall. Part of a grant that he was working with. And I think we must have worked on that, 6 months, a year before the grant finally kicked in. That was fun. I like those kind of projects, especially when you've got time to kind of think it all through. You're not in a hurry. You're not faced with a deadline. At least at that point, we weren't faced with a deadline, and we had time to sort of kick the ideas back and forth, make sure we included all the things that we needed because it was a grant. It was kind of a one-shot money kind of thing. So that's always fun. That's always fun. It's always fun to spend somebody else's money. It has been a while. It has been a while, but that's okay. You've been busy. You got students, and now you may not have students for a while. My next door neighbor is a teacher, and I was asking, and his daughter comes over and helps me in the yard sometimes, and I was asking her, what's it like? Because I think she's just finished her freshman year, is about to be a sophomore. And I asked her, what's it like to have your dad teaching at the school? And she's like, he was teaching at the school since I was in kindergarten or first grade. So it's just like, oh, well, what no big deal now. Nobody even pays attention to it. She has a brother. She has two brothers, actually, but the youngest is, I guess he's about 9, maybe. And, everybody knows that his dad is a teacher because I'm sure he's real proud of his dad. He loves his dad. So it's fun stuff. It's fun stuff. Am I broadcasting from the motor house? Not yet, but I do have plans for a portable studio from there. And I can't wait to take an opportunity and outfit it. The thing is, Sandy, my wife Sandy, and I bought a little motorhome, and so we're going to do some traveling. And travel will probably include Wednesday shows, so it has to be something that I can equip with a green screen and some lights and a camera and a microphone and of course a PC to make it all happen. So yeah, there's that. So we'll have to see. It'll be fun. The challenge with something like that is always internet. Can you get the right amount of internet? All right, Eric, we're getting ready here. We were waiting for Otis to show up. Oh, there he is. Otis is here. Ooh, Kyle's been working on a video of how he has been using Google Sheets to pull live data from his state association CIAC to use to automate most of our graphics for sports. What is the CIAC? You've got 17 seconds to reply. And how cool is that? And why don't you come on the show and show me too? That would be very good. Of course, it was going to be a studio, Tommy. And we may have to stop in Tallahassee. We just, we've talked about that, but we haven't ever done it. So Kyle, oh my gosh, that's cool. Working with the esports team. Well, Tommy, I'd love to do Scarlink. Just send me a check. I'll even take a credit card. What the heck? Cash is fine. All right. I was talking. I know we're infringing on showtime hours, but I want to tell you before we get into the show. I was talking with Mark Osmondson. Mark owns a TV station and some low-powered FM stations in Iowa, and he and I both missed the last NAB. And prior to that, I think we'd been at 4 or 5 NABs at the same time and gotten to be friends and had lunch every year. And he said, I miss the Streaming Idiots meetup, and I was like, well, I did too. So make plans for next spring. Streaming Idiots meetup, NAB. Yeah. All right, let's get this show rolling. What do you say? We'll hit the very special button on our. Oops! In fact, I accidentally hit a very special button. I hit the main shot button on the X keys, and what I wanted to hit was the purple button. Here we go. It always takes me by surprise. What can I say? So, hey, welcome. Glad you're here. Kind of excited about I'm not kind of excited. I really am super excited about today's show, but can you give me just a minute? Just a minute. I got to get something set up here. I'm not as tech savvy as I appear on TV. Hold on here. All right, let's get that in. I'm making a vMix call so that I can use my camera as an in studio kind of wandering cam, and so I want to make it turn sideways. So I'm going to hit this button twice. There we go. Now it's a wide angle view. And I can do that so that I'll see everything there is to see there. Perfect. Okay, we're all good there. So I'm just getting that set up for a minute. So today what we're going to talk about, thank you for your patience. Today what we're going to talk about is what's going on in the workshop today. In my business, Eastern Shore Broadcasting, one of our outreaches to the whole wide world is Streaming Idiots because it's fun. And that happens in the studio portion of the studio. So actually, it doesn't happen in the studio portion. It happens in the broadcast desk portion because it's just a podcast, just a talk show. But right over there, and all my cameras are in use somewhere else. But anyway, right over there is a green screen studio with draped curtains and a set. And sometimes we use that set as part of our workshop because we've got a workshop back here behind this green screen. So that's what I want to show you today is what's going on in that workshop and this workshop because it's some really fun projects, and you might be interested in them, or you might find somebody that's interested in something like that. So what I want to do, if I can do it without screwing it up, here's the thing. I've got this camera, which is the PTZ Optics Move 4K camera. We're doing 4K 60. Why? Because we can. I wanted to experiment with it. I wanted to get familiar with it. I want to be able to know, if somebody really wants to do 4K 60, what are they going to be up against? Well, I know. Welcome, Ray. Glad you're here. Because I've used it, and I've used it extensively. I think this has been going on for a couple of months. Every week we've been doing 4K 60. We were doing 4K 30 before using the Bird Dog P400, which is 4K camera. And then I wanted to move up to 60 just to have these. I wanted to really push the envelope, and we're pushing the envelope because we've only got 20 megs of upload bandwidth here, and we're using like 14 of it. We shouldn't be using that much. We should only be using 10. But anyway, we're using 14 of it to push this stream up, and then we're just sending it to YouTube. YouTube is re-encoding it from 4K down to 1080p, 720p, 480p, 360p, 240p, and 144p. So that's a lot for nothing. But they put their ads on there, so I guess we have to live with that. So anyway, that's the camera I'm using. The microphone here is a Audio Technica AT897. Now it's a shotgun mic. It's about that long. It's got a little foam rubber cover on it. It's pointed directly at my mouth, and it's only about 16 inches away from my mouth. And I really like it because it means I don't have to wear anything. But in times like this, where I need to walk around the studio, I can't take that. Well, I can't easily take that mic with me. I really need something wireless. And what's better wireless than your phone? So I've got the phone set up as a vMix call. And whenever I click to the phone and make it the live screen, the audio is set to switch from this mic to that mic. Now, there's a little bit of latency involved with the vMix call. Let me see what I've got latency on it right now. Latency is 200 milliseconds. So, maybe you'll notice it, maybe you won't. I'm not getting a very good video connection. It's only 360p. So, yeah. So we're not getting a lot of high definition, high quality. Shaggy Mummy, glad you're here. So let's go see what's going on in the studio. We'll do the back studio first, then we'll go to the front studio second. So, excuse me, goodness gracious. All right, so let's switch over, and let me make sure the audio switches over. There we go. All right, now we probably need to get rid of the graphic. And there we go. All right. Welcome, TKDS Sports Network. All right. So we're going into the actual workshop area now. And this is a project, this right here is a project that I'm working on actually for PTZ Optics. They've got a client that wanted a bunch of their cameras and a custom system. And whenever they have a need for that, they say, Tom, build us a custom system. Now, this is not the video card that comes with it. I've ordered a special card for theirs, and it's on the way in. But it does have a Blackmagic 4-port HDMI 4K card, so that's going to be fun. And it's full of RAM, and the cool new Intel black cooler. That's fun. Just for setting up purposes, we've got DVD drive set on there. Sorry about that. That was a phone call. Should have muted it. And we're set up with a monitor, but the monitor's blanked itself out. It'll come back to life in just a minute. Here are some other projects that we're working along on. A couple there for the same client, and then a motherboard that wasn't behaving, so we need to test it again and see if we can't see. And then, of course, we do have camera set up back here for when we need to, and an X-Keys replay controller when we set up for some systems for other clients because they use the replay controller. And then everything else over there is gear that failed either here or at the client's location, and we're sending back under warranty. And that doesn't take a top priority, so it tends to stack up there. You can see we've got a lot of video cards. In fact, that one right there, I don't know that they'll even repair that, but I thought I'd give it a try. I hate to throw away equipment, even good stuff. I mean, I'll pull stuff out of the old recycle bin that's usable good stuff and build systems all the time. This is kind of interesting right here. This is a solid state drive, Samsung 970 Evo Plus, an NVMe M.2. It's I think it's a 250 gig, and that's what we use as our main drive. And this one is actually set up with Windows 11. Didn't activate it, just installed it on there and all the other goodies on there. And I want to test it in different motherboards and see. We did some testing with Windows 11 and vMix and found out that I don't think they're ready for each other. And then, of course, here in the workshop, you gotta have screws and zip ties and just about anything you can think of. We're going to keep in here in case we need it in the future. You're forever needing gidgy gadgets to make things work when you're putting together a PC. Over here to the right is kind of the storage area. You can see that we've got some X keys and some bird dogs and some Logitech keyboards and some CPUs and some video cards and some capture cards and some cameras and then, oh yeah, down in the bottom there's a project we haven't worked on in a while, but we've got these portable PCs that we bought on auction a while back that are clad. And here's one that we've got that we've actually powder coated, and so it's an all-in-one. It weighs a ton, but it's bulletproof, and the keyboard folds down, and it's got a little touchpad in it. And these are we've been refurbishing them along the way, and we've got about 6 left. If you're interested in one of those, we'll either refurb one for you, or we can sell it to you, and you can refurb it yourself. Just for a shot of view, that's the broadcast desk right there. The squeaky chair, the green screen, the lights, the monitors, and most importantly, the lemonade. Okay, so let's work. Oh, and you can see there's the PTZ Optics camera that does the shot on the subject, which is me, of course. And then the microphone's going into the Behringer UMC 404 HD audio device. All right, now coming back over here, this is another project we're working on for a sign company. Oops, let me get the zoom, the tilt right. For a sign company up in the Midwest, they put video scoreboards in sports venues, and we built a system for them that runs vMix in order to do instant replay. And so we'll set it up. In this particular one, we've just got a placeholder for the video card right now, and then we've got it set up with another Blackmagic 8-port, the Quad 4, and then a Blackmagic output card. It's going to be a little screamer. It's going to be lots of fun. I hate sending these guys away because you just want to keep all the toys, all the pretty toys. Here's the latest greatest to come in. This is a portable system, kind of like the refurb system that we've got over there. It's got the monitor built into it, and you can add your own wireless keyboard and mouse. But basically, let me get this out of the way for a second. I built one of these for Scott Whitney at Podworks, and they use it all the time because it's portable, and it allows us to put in a full-size motherboard with full-size video and capture cards, all the ports, all the things you need. Yeah, not much to see there. And then it also has built into it its own audio interface. So you can plug in 2 XLR mics, 2 1/4-inch instrument mics, and then it's also got outputs right here, left and right outs. So yeah, nice little device, and basically it converts it to USB and plugs straight into the motherboard. So it just reduces the number of components you need to have on hand. I'm thinking that something like this is going to be perfect for a church that is portable, that is renting space and has to do all the setup and tear down every week. And so they need something they can just bring right in, but it has more power than a laptop because they're doing a multi-camera production. And we can pair it with a Bird Dog P120. So we just set up a quick network, plug in some common Ethernet cables. It'll power the camera. It'll get signal from the camera. And then this guy can be set up for Wi-Fi, or it can plug into a network if it's available. Or we can have a PTZ Optics Move 4K camera that'll do NDI-HX, plugging into the same kind of network and the same kind of PoE situation. So lots of good possibilities here. really excited about this. If you're interested in these or know somebody that is, put them in contact with me. Um, and yeah, I think this is really cool. I like playing with cool stuff, and I like testing it, and I like trying to break it. And I don't like it when I do break it, but I do like it when I break it because it means that I've figured out how you could break it, and now I have to fix it and make it better. So, yeah, that's the quick tour of what we're doing in the studio today, or rather in the workshop today. So there you go. Any 3091s lying around? No, I've got a 3080. Sorry, any 3090 Ti's laying around. No, I've got a 3080 Ti, but I think that's going in the PTC Optics machine. Frankie, thank you, Tom, for the audio comment. Will I sell you one of those cases? Sure. Just send me an email, Tom at easternshorebroadcasting.com. Let's see. Is that yeah, there we go. I think this will get you to my website, which is easternshorebroadcasting.com. So it's Tom at easternshorebroadcasting.com. What I like best about that new portable case is that it's got audio built into it. The old portable cases, we modified them with, oh, heck, let me show you. Let's go back into the storeroom. This is where I keep the really good goodies. There is a device. Things are not always as clear as they appear. That plugs in USB and allows you 2 audio ins and 2 audio outs, XLR in outs, not quarter inch. And it can either be external or you can mount it inside the PC and modify the case to put the XLRs in. Let me show you how we do that. Here we go. And so we will put something like that little guy in the case and just plug that into the back so that you've got this on the outside of the case, and it makes it easy plug in and unplug for the XLR audio connections. What else do we have in here that's interesting? Yeah, it's just the normal stock that we keep on hand to do our PCs, and then all the things that don't fit into any category. There's 200 feet of outdoor Ethernet we bought to prove something worked, and we proved it worked. Now we've got it in case we ever need it in a project. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, that the audio issue, the audio challenge can be solved a couple of different ways. And I really do like, let's switch back over here. I really do like the XLR USB solution because it's relatively inexpensive. Sometimes you have to tweak the audio a little bit. I've had one system that I built that had a little bit of hum in it, and I think we ended up just switching USB ports, and that fixed it. So you just never really know. Tommy says you should already have easternshorebroadcasting.com in your favorites on your browser. Well, that's nice, Tommy. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's what's going on today. We got a PO from a client for 80 systems, but they don't want them all at once. So we're kind of working on that. That was 2 of those systems you saw in the back. And we just supplied, I think I mentioned this a while back, it was I guess about a couple of months ago, some instant replay systems to Auburn University, which is a pretty nice university. Yeah, I'm an alum. Are you an alum of Auburn University? Yeah. And so that's fine. Shaggy Mommy says, I need me some of those XLR USB cables. Well, let me go get the brand. 1 second. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I'm just going here. Not going far away. And I'll tell you the brand and the model number, and you can get them yourself. They are from Stellar Labs, STELLAR, Stellar Labs. And this is called, what do they call it? They call it high quality. They call it, has an LED light on it. All right, it says this is a USB audio changer, which has balanced stereo analog input and balanced stereo analog output. Recording and playing can be accomplished via connecting with computer. And it says down at the bottom, applications, stage show recording and playing, home recording, playing, and recording and playing. Feature, balanced stereo input and balanced stereo output. Volume control for output number 3 without the need of an external power supply. Connecting with mixer or power amplifier without needing additional cable. Sample rate 16-bit, 48 kilohertz. Balanced stereo input and stereo output. Frequency response 20 to about 20,000 hertz, plus or minus 1 decibel. And USB supplies the 5-volt power. So it's a nice little device. I think they're about, I don't know, maybe $100, something like that. So they're really handy, and you can use them outside your PC, or if it's something you're going to be doing a lot, you can mount it inside your PC and then just carefully secure it off to the side with some zip ties and things like that. That's what we do when we build it into the systems. In fact, I think, well, I won't say that. So some of the other folks that manufacture portable devices use that trick. But I like the one in the box that we just got, the new box, because it's built in. It's one USB. It's got its own output and input plate with, I don't know if you noticed, but it also had gain knobs on it. So it's got some for people that need analog controls. It had analog controls right there. So there you go. There you go. Well, good. Well, good. Questions about what you've seen? Oh, I know something else, and this has nothing to do with that, but while you're thinking of a question, I am so excited because I've dusted off a little bit. I finally was able to get my hands on one of the original Bird Dog TV studios. This is the thing. This is the first Bird Dog device. And I thought, what the heck? That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And it cost too much money. But it was the beginning of the Bird Dog. And it has HDMI in, HDMI out, SDI, 3G SDI in and out. It's got gigabit network, PoE, and that's going to be powered by PoE. And then it's got USB on the end and then a power jack on the end. And then it has what looks like another power jack on the other end, but it's not marked, so who knows? Oh, this is not a power jack. This screws into a cold shoe on a camera, and that would allow you to screw in a light or something like that, or screw into the cold shoe on the camera. So yeah, and then it's got comms, and they were thinking ahead. I mean, this guy is what, like, 6 years old. In computer years, that's like 42, kind of like dog years. So I'm going to get this guy, update the firmware on him, and plug him in and put him to use and enjoy the old new technology. So there you go. Shaggy Mommy says, found a few listings, having a hard time finding any for sale. Thanks anyways. Seems to me I had to buy these from an electronics company. And it took a little finding. I don't remember now where I got them. But if you Google Stellar Labs, I think that's the key. Stellar Labs USB audio interface or something like that. There just doesn't seem to be any other. There's not much information on them. As a result, it probably is not a very complicated product, but it sure is nice to have that. And it basically allows you to have 2 inputs and 2 outputs without having a mixer. That's the beauty of it, I think. So there you go. So that's what's happening in the Eastern Shore Broadcasting workshop, the Streaming Idiots workshop, where all the idiots work. We've got some fun projects going on. And if you have any questions about those, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com. Or if you're interested in having us build you something, even that's not like that. I mean, we can build it in a regular tower case. You didn't see any of those. We've got a really cool tower case that's really insulated. And we use some real low noise but high volume fans on them. So it can move a lot of air, but it doesn't make a big noise. In fact, you hear that? You probably don't. That's one of those fans running right there. Anyway, it's a super quiet case. It's great for if you have to do your live streaming in the sanctuary. Nobody will ever know that you got it there. Tommy says Stellar Labs is mainly an antenna company. Well, there you go. All those ants that are missing their antennas can go to Stellar Labs and get a replacement. Right. All right, we're going to go to the post show now. Thanks for hanging around for the show. We'll hit the purple button on our X-Keys XK80 and be right back. Well, okay then. Thank you, Tommy. Tommy's got it there. Tommy's got it there. So Logan, I haven't ever really seen a 3090 Ti, but I got a notice yesterday from B&H Photo, because I'd put in a request a while back for the 4090. Don't think it was the TI version. I think it was just the 4090. And they said 4090s are available. $15.99, something like that. Don't remember the brand. And I looked around at Amazon, Newegg, all the places that you would go to get this kind of gear. Apparently, the pipeline is full of 4090s. So if you're interested in a 4090, anywhere from 1,600 up to a couple grand, there you go. The benefits in the vMix world is, number one, vMix will use the encoders on that card up to 3 to do the encoding for streaming and recording. And so it'll offload that from your CPU. So that's a good thing. Number two, if you're using a relatively new motherboard and something like this. Hold on a second, let me find it right here. Sit tight. One second. Getting there. Stay with me. Don't go away. If you're using resizable bar, or if your motherboard supports it, then you definitely want to enable it, because vMix can use the unused RAM portion of your video card to store videos and pictures and all that kind of, all those assets that it needs really quick access to, so it doesn't have to pull them off your drive. Of course, if you've got a solid state drive, that's not as important as it used to be, but still, it reduces the response time and keeps your render time low. So there you are. The other thing that vMix takes advantage of is the CUDA cores in the graphics card. So the more CUDA cores the card has, the better it is for vMix. So if you're trying to choose between two cards, like you know, a 3080 Ti and a 4070, check the CUDA cores, check the RAM. You know, chances are you may have more RAM with one, more CUDA cores with the other. I'd probably go with the CUDA cores. And keep that going. I mean, here we've got a, what are we running today? We are running a, what is this card? Come on, Tom, you should know the answers to these questions right off the top of your head. What is this card? Sit tight, one second. Device manager. Display it after. There we go. This is a 3070. We were using a 3090. And the 3070 popped up. And I said, well, let's try it. Let's see what the difference is. So we've got 30. We're running the 3070, which has 5800 CUDA cores. And how much RAM? I think, yeah, 16 gigs of RAM, something like that. And we're running at 4K 60, so that we're streaming one stream and making one recording. So the encoders are used there. But we're not recording right now. We are streaming. But the render time on this PC is like 6 milliseconds, and that's at 4K 60. So the graphics card is really important. Still echoing. How could I be echoing? Because that didn't turn itself off. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was supposed to turn itself off. Why didn't it turn itself off? So I can turn it on. Oh, I know why. Well, I don't know why, but anyway, I should know why.
That should turn it on. So that's the camera.
That should turn it off. But it didn't. Interesting. Does it still think that camera is active? Huh. Go figure. Sorry about that. So, Ray, they still having a Radio Shack around you? Huh? I'd love to go visit one. I loved Radio Shack. Love to go through there at Christmas and see all the remote control cars and trucks and fire engines. That was as an adult. I love to go through there and ask them, you know, do you have this capacitor? Do you have this little resistor? Do you have this whatever? Yep, they generally did. And so on with my project. There we go. Well, Clint, if you're happy, then I'm sure everybody's happy. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh, Tommy's been fired. He's been fired. He's no longer live streaming his church services. They didn't appreciate him doing it from the 7-Eleven. The new pastor's daughter has taken over, and he's so happy. I am now a consultant. Wow. You know, the thing about churches is, and my dad was a priest, so I grew up in churches and loved them. But as an adult, if you volunteered for something, you might be stuck in that job until you changed churches or until you died, whichever came first. And it was sometimes it'd be hard, you know, you get, you know, kind of pigeonholed in a role and you can't get out. And live streaming is a lot to do. It's a lot to know. Oh, excuse me, goodness gracious. it's a lot to know. It's a lot to do. And it's not fair probably to have somebody do that long term. We've been doing it at our church. I think this summer will be 7 years. We did it before COVID. We were ahead of the game. And it was funny because the clergyman only wanted the sermon live streamed and recorded. And I was pushing him, let's do this. Let's do the whole service. Let people come and have the whole service experience. So if they're sick and they can't be there, they can still come to church. If they want to see what the church looks like doing all of its stuff during the service, they can see, if they're kind of a new person that wants to take a peek. And finally he acquiesced, and we started doing it. And then COVID hit. And we hit the ground running. It was no big deal. No big deal. Well, there is that, Clint, but you can serve the Lord in lots of ways. Some people can serve the Lord by sleeping late. Did I say that out loud? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Gunner, I wasn't talking about you. I promise. I was not talking about you. Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. Oh my gosh. Well, the good news is that you didn't really miss everything. Number one, unlike some other shows that involve live streaming software that don't record their pre-show and post-show, they only record the show. Actually, we only record the show too, but we live stream to YouTube the pre-show, the show, and the post-show, the show. Anyway, and then we leave it there. We don't take it down so that people that arrive late can still get the advantage of the pre-show and the post-show. There you go. $919er. Gotcha. I'll tell you, it is a thankless job. And it's a job that people don't appreciate the depth and the breadth of. And the other job I think like that is the person that runs the audio board. If your church has an audio board and actually does things with it, as opposed to having sticky tape all over it saying, don't touch this, and just assume that it's always, kind of static. Audio is not static. Audio is it might be full of static, but it's not unchanging. It's always changing, just like the live stream. You've got to keep on top of it. And, if you guys are like me, on Sunday mornings, we are streaming to Facebook and now YouTube simultaneously, but we don't pay Facebook. We don't pay YouTube. They can decide not to cooperate anytime they want. YouTube has not been cooperating with me on what? On vMix Social. Today was the first day. Well, obviously we haven't had a live stream in the last 2 weeks, but prior to that, I think there were 2 weeks where we couldn't get vMix to vMix Social to communicate with the YouTube API for pulling out comments. I'm not sure whether it was it must have been on the YouTube side, because I haven't downloaded and updated vMix in weeks. So it was there. Yeah. So yeah. Tommy remembers during the Chinese virus when it was just me and the pastor in the church live streaming each Sunday. Yeah, me too. I think there was the pastor and the worship leader, lovely young woman with beautiful voice, and her husband who ran the soundboard, and me doing the live stream. There were 4 of us. And everybody was far away from each other, that kind of stuff. It was kind of fun. And it's nice to go back and view old live streams. Don't go back and look at my old live streams. I mean, we've been doing this. Next month Or is it this month? No, it's next month. Hold tight. Sorry about that. Next month, July, I think it's July 12th, we will have been live streaming for 11 years. I think it's 11 years. I'll have to check. Maybe it's later in July. Anyway, next month, 11-year anniversary. Continually live streaming. We are the oldest continuing live streaming show about live streaming in the universe. Just want you to know you're in rarefied air here. Clint says, it gives me great joy to know that I can contribute in some small way aside from committing sins that make salvation necessary. Well, yeah, Clint, Jesus and I were talking about your sins the other day. And he said, there was a long list. And he said, whoops, no, sorry, Tom, that's your list. Truth be told, that's right. That's right. Salvation is wonderful. Salvation is wonderful. Not to be held accountable for what you should be held accountable for, at least in a spiritual sense. You know, you break the law, you get arrested, you get held accountable like that. But you don't have to break the law to sin. And some of us just do it by getting up, starting our day. All right, Shaggy Mummy says, I've set up a remote live streaming setup that I can control from home. You use OBS and a free add-on that allows for multiple RTMP destinations. One unlisted for monitoring, one more for the broadcast. Well, there you go. Cool. All right. I think remote has a lot of power. You know, sometimes when I'm traveling, I'll do this show remotely, and I'll set myself up as a vMix caller and call into the studio here and then broadcast it from here. When I do when I'm out of town on a Sunday, sometimes if I can't get a sub, I will just remote into that PC using remote software. I think, what do we use? Team Viewer, and then just basically control the PC remotely from there. Obviously, I don't have any communication with people in the sanctuary. Sometimes I can just stick my head in the back door and go, give me some more audio, or, nothing's happening here, something like that. So yeah. Clint was referring to his and my sin. So there you go. Me and Alan Bunt. Now, I tell you what, there's a story that starts like that, isn't it? Me and Alan Bunt were out one day. Al Bunt. We were out one day and got Tommy started live streaming his church services all those years ago. Isn't that great? Isn't that great that you were able to see the power of that new technology and embrace it and find a way on a shoestring budget to implement it? And then when COVID hit, you guys were right there in the sweet spot, doing what everybody else was scrambling to do with an iPhone or something like that. Yeah, hooray for you, Tommy. Hooray for Al Bunt. Hooray for me. Yeah. Shaggy Money was traveling to DC and was able to remote in from his phone back in Michigan and start monitoring the screen with no Wi-Fi. Love it. Love it. I don't know that well, yeah, when we do the church service, it involves cutting a lot of cameras and adding a lot of graphics. I wouldn't want to do that on the phone, but I could start the live stream and end it using my phone remotely. I guess I could cut cameras, but the image is so small and the buttons are even smaller. Yeah. I'll let that statement stand on its own. Yes, sir, you are. You are a gift. You're a gift to your community, is what you are. Because whether you knew it or not, you anticipated an important need. Um, and for all of us that hounded our pastors and priests and rabbis to do this kind of stuff before the Chinese virus took over the world, um, you know, we were doing the right thing and didn't know why. We were motivated. We were inspired. We might have been guided. How about that? Yeah. Yep. There's no question in my mind that the Holy Spirit guides me daily and during the course of this show frequently and during the course of my business life immensely. Yeah. And I don't think Tommy's comment is to do with my last statement. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Well, stuff that we've got coming up in the future, I'm kind of excited about. Can't wait to get my hands on the new cameras from PTZ Optics. Going to be a great budget, a value brand PTZ camera that will do NDI. I think it'll do NDI out of the box. Maybe they've got two different options. I'll have to double check my specs on that. I don't think they've released a whole lot of specs on it. And then the Bird Dog X120, which of course is the Wi-Fi camera 20x NDI HX. And so that's going to be that. If that works as well as we think it's going to work, that's going to be a real game changer for a lot of people that need to just pop. Oh, by the way, it can be battery operated too. It can draw battery power to power it. I think maybe 3 to 4 hours. So it could do some sporting events, definitely do some church services, most church services, especially a lot of the ones that I attended when I was a kid. Although those seemed like they lasted 3 or 4 hours, they didn't really. Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was. It was great. Still is, because you're still involved. You don't have to push the buttons to be an important part of the process. Yep. Yep. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I loved bringing you my projects, and yeah, yeah, that was fun. It's fun. It's cool. It's very rewarding. So yeah, is it a ministry? Yeah, yeah, you could say it is. You could say it is. Good. Well, I will leave you guys with some lovely streaming music called, this is actually called Fast and, excuse me, Fresh. Fresh, Fast and Furious. No, it's Fresh and Fun. And I bought the rights to this, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years ago. Must have been a 10-year license because I'm starting to get dinged now for using it, but nobody has pulled it down. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, have a great one. See you next week.